Writing to move people. Welcome back, everyone. In this session, we're going to talk about writing messages that move people. When you're communicating on behalf of your organization, the words you say to people are critical. Let's be real. Your target audience has busy lives. Most of the time, your organization isn't front of mind for them. So when you do get the opportunity to speak to them, the message needs to be clear, impactful, and memorable. One of the most important things to remember is that messaging takes time. People won't always remember you the first time they hear from you, but if they hear similar messages a few times, they'll start to remember who you are and what you stand for. This is why it's essential to practice what we call message discipline. That means sticking to your core message across all communications channels, whether it's social media, email, or face-to-face interactions. Over time, your audience will start to recognize your messaging and associate it with your organization. Why messaging is important. As a communicator, you know that words are powerful. They can change how someone feels, inform, bring humor, and most importantly, inspire action. But words can also cause harm if you don't think them through carefully. That's why it's important to be intentional about how you communicate. You need to say what you mean in a way your target audience can understand and relate to. This is a skill that takes practice, but it's key to creating messages that truly connect with people. In this session, we'll introduce you to some tried and true methods for developing messages that resonate with your audience. Our goal is to use words that uplift and inspire those who share your vision for change. These people are out there, and your messages will help bring them closer to your organization. Study the power of repetition. Now, let's talk about message discipline. What does that mean? It's simple. It means giving your audience the chance to recognize an idea, digest it, and accept it. If you repeat your message consistently, eventually you might hear your audience members repeat it back to you, sometimes as if it were their own idea. That's when you know your message has really sunk in. Lead with values. One of the most common mistakes new communicators make is forgetting to consider their audience. Ultimately, the people receiving your messages need to understand and identify with your words. If they don't, your message could fall flat. We recommend leading with values. Values are the core principles that people and organizations hold dear. By listing your values and those of your target audience, you can find areas where you overlap. These shared values are a great place to start when building your top-line messages. For example, if you're communicating with students, your message will likely sound very different from the one you'd use with corporate sponsors. Leading with values helps create authentic connections and sets you apart from competitors. So, here's a quick exercise. Take a moment to write down your organization's values. Then, write down the values of your audience. Circle the values you have in common. That's where your messaging should begin. Flesh out your messages. Now, let's talk about how to create a messaging document. If you've never written one before, don't worry. I'll walk you through the essential components. First, you need a top-line message. This is the high-level takeaway that everyone who interacts with your organization should walk away with. It should articulate your values clearly and consistently. Next, you have secondary messages. These are high-level ideas that grow out of your top-line message. Then, you need supporting points. These are the facts, problems, solutions, or values that back up your top line and secondary messages. Aim to have 3 or 4 supporting points for each message. Here's a tip. Keep each message to 1 sentence. If you find yourself writing a paragraph, find the core idea and move the other sentences down into the supporting point section. Brainstorming message concepts. Getting started can be the hardest part, right? Here's an exercise to help you brainstorm. Start by writing down all of the main concepts you want to communicate. Then circle the core message and connect it to the related points around it. After about 30 minutes of brainstorming, you should have enough to start outlining your messages and fleshing them out from there. Test your messages. Okay, now that you have your messages, it's time to test them. There are several ways you can do this. First, you could share your messages informally with a few trusted people who are part of your target audience. This won't give you any hard data, but you'll get valuable feedback. Another option is to test your messages with your current audience using tools like A/B testing on social media or email. This can be done for a small amount of money and will show you which message performs better, though you may not get detailed feedback about why. Finally, if you have the budget, you can pay a professional message testing service. These range in price and detail. Generally, the more data you want, the higher the cost and the longer it will take to execute. Pick the option that works best for your timeline and budget. Conclusion. To wrap up, remember, messaging is powerful, but it takes practice and discipline. Leading with values and testing your messages will help you connect more effectively with your audience. Thank you for joining me today. Be sure to take the quiz to test your knowledge, and we'll see you in the next session.